Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. The movie begins with a ship traveling at sea. The ship's captain enters the cabin, where a pilot is lying down and reading a magazine. Startled by the captain's presence, the pilot quickly stands up. The captain inspects the ship, and advises caution. Soon, he notices people climbing aboard using the ship's rations. Realizing they are Somali pirates, he quickly turns off all the ship's lights, and orders the crew to the engine room. Elsewhere on a Navy ship, a captain is giving a lecture to his soldiers. Among them is Sonya Yajov, who reads a letter, revealing that his girlfriend is marrying someone else. An altercation ensues when another officer begins to trouble Sonya, but Sonya has hidden a pen in his clothes. When the officer punches him, he injures his hand, leading to a fight between the two. An announcement interrupts the fight, calling for the rescue of the cargo ship. Sonya and his comrades board small boats, and head towards the ship. As they climb aboard, the pirates open fire. In the chaos, Sonya falls overboard, and despite the soldiers' efforts to find him in the darkness, he remains unseen. The next morning, Sonya is found floating on the water, still alive. Spotting a ship approaching, he waves for help. However, once aboard, he realizes that this ship is manned by pirates. The pirates bring Sonya to their leader, Amin Noor. Amin threatens him with a gun, warning him that any attempt to escape will result in his death, and his body being thrown into the sea. Amin then demands $20 million from Russia, threatening to kill everyone on the ship one by one, if his demands are not met. The pirates order the crew hiding in the engine room to come out, but the crew knows that doing so would mean certain death. Amin commands Sonya to bring the crew out, or he will be killed. Meanwhile, Russian authorities discuss their options. Initially, they consider abandoning the mission if the ransom demands are not met. However, upon learning that Amin Noor is behind the hijacking, they decide they cannot return to their country empty-handed. Russian Captain Dekhalin observes that the pirates have completely surrounded the ship. And they also have a lot of weapons. When Amin sees that his demands are not met, he declares that the pirates have surrounded the ship from all sides, and frustrated, he slits a man's throat and throws the body into the water as a warning. Sonya informs the crew in the engine room about the murder, urging them to stay hidden. Amin then puts a knife to Sonya's neck, threatening to kill him within 2 days, if his orders are not followed. He assigns a pirate named Kalash to watch over him. Unlike the others, Kalash only wants enough money to leave Somalia, and settle in the Netherlands. The Russian Navy spots a boat heading towards the ship. They surround the boat, and throw all its rations into the sea. When Amin sees this, he threatens to kill Sonya. To save his life, the soldiers put Sonya back in the boat, and send him away. The leader of the pirates demands immediate ransom, declaring that no one should be seen without bringing money. The soldier commander deliberately places the pirate leader in a position to distract him, giving Sonya a chance to escape. However, as Sonya attempts to flee, the pirates catch him before he can jump off the ship, and beat him severely. The pirate leader drags him to the ship's engine room, and threatens the crew, saying he has a grenade, and will blow up the entire ship if they don't come out. The crew begins to argue about opening the door, but the ship's captain prevents them from doing so. Frustrated that the crew won't emerge, the pirate leader disarms the grenade, and cuts off the engine's oxygen supply, knowing this will eventually force the crew out. Meanwhile, a soldier and Captain Dekhalin devise a plan to capture the pirates. The mission is extremely dangerous, and must be completed within 22 minutes. They know that diverting the pirates' attention is crucial, though it seems like an impossible task. In the dead of night, a soldier discreetly signals with a flare. Sonya must now convey a message. The soldiers will launch an attack at 6 next morning. They find a way to notify the crew members, silently hanging from the ship with an emergency light, to signal their readiness. He informs a crew member, urging them to assist in diverting the pirates' attention during the impending attack at 6. Meanwhile, Kalash carefully examines Sonya's behavior, trying to decipher his intentions. Sonya reassures him, emphasizing his determination to survive. To maintain control, Sonya uses a water bottle to manipulate his body's movements, impressing Kalash with his resourcefulness. Kalash confides in Sonya about his passion for singing, a secret he keeps from his fellow pirates, out of fear of their judgment. Sonya earns Kalash's trust, and provides a man with water laced with drugs, thinking strategically amidst the perilous situation. In the midst of their prayers, the man who had unknowingly ingested it begins dancing, catching the attention of the pirates. The leader, mistaking his behavior for drunkenness, a grave offense in Islam, orders him to be punished by hanging him over the water. Kalash, pleading for mercy, refers to him as his elder brother, but before he can intervene, a shark attacks. By the time Kalash manages to pull him up, The shark has already consumed half of his body. Meanwhile, the soldier and Captain Dekalim continue preparing for their daunting mission, which must be completed within a seemingly impossible 22-minute window. Discussions ensue about the government's decision not to negotiate with the pirates, fearing ongoing threats to their ships, if they give in once. With the ransom ruled out, the rescue operation becomes inevitable. Distraught over the loss of his brother, Kalash mourns and fears a similar fate for himself, amidst the escalating tension and danger on the ship. He secretly gives Sanya a life jacket, and urges him to escape. He confesses that he planned to flee himself, but hadn't told anyone. Sanya however reveals that soldiers will attack the ship the next day, offering Kalash a chance to avenge his brother's death. Reluctantly agreeing to cooperate, Kalash asks Sanya for instructions. Their conversation is noticed by the pirate leader, who orders Sanya's execution. Meanwhile, the leader discovers a map showing the ship's weak points, and demands the crew open those gates for him to cut through. On the other side, Russian soldiers are preparing an underwater assault. Upon hearing the pirates cutting the gate, the ship's captain orders the engines to start, considering sinking the ship preferable, then letting it fall into enemy hands. Unbeknownst to him, soldiers are already positioned near the ship's hull underwater. As the engine starts, they reel in towards the hull. Just before hitting it, one of them latches onto the ship with a hook and rope, allowing them to board. Kalash reaches the pilot's cabin, distracting the pirates with his singing, and attempting to prevent them from entering. However, the door is locked from the inside. When he resists Amin's attempt to enter, Amin detonates the door with a bomb. As Amin approaches, Kalash points a gun at him, only to discover it's empty. In a tragic turn, Amin kills Kalash before he can defend himself. As chaos erupts on the ship, Sanya rallies the crew members, directing them in a coordinated effort. Meanwhile, soldiers board the ship, and engage the pirates in close combat, resorting to knives when bullets are not an option. The commander confronts the pirate leader in a fierce duel. Amidst the turmoil, Sanya recalls the bombs planted on the tanker, and resolves to defuse them. Climbing onto the tanker, he is suddenly grabbed by a man just as he reaches for the bomb. However, before the bomb can detonate, Sanya manages to disarm it, preventing a disaster. Back on the ship, the commander intensifies his interrogation of Amin, pushing him to a breaking point. Faced with no other choice, Amin triggers the bomb remotely, but to his astonishment, nothing happens. Sanya had earlier disabled the detonator, foiling his plans. As the situation deteriorates, some pirates leap into the water to escape, while soldiers apprehend others, including Sanya. Among the captured, Sanya spots Kalash, who is grievously wounded, but still alive. He reassures Kalash, promising help, but Kalash, resigning to his fate, passes away shortly thereafter. With the pirates subdued and the threat neutralized, Sanya returns after successfully securing their capture, reflecting on the sacrifices made, and the turbulent events that unfolded during the operation. Just as they receive the order to release the pirates, he and the soldiers are filled with frustration and disbelief. They understand the necessity of following orders, yet they feel the weight of the sacrifices made during their mission. The leader of the pirates approaches Sanya with a smirk, taunting that despite all their efforts, they were unable to inflict harm. Sanya senses the injustice of the situation, knowing lives were risked and lost in their mission. Reluctantly, under orders from above, he provides food and water to the pirates, before departing. However, with one last trick up his sleeve, in a can of water given to Amin, he secretly placed a grenade. After departing from there, Sanya and the soldiers hear a sudden thunderous explosion in the distance. They look back to see the pirate boat engulfed in flames, realizing that the hidden grenade had effectively neutralized the threat, eliminating all the pirates and their leader, Amin Noor. With the pirates eliminated, the soldiers' mission is completed within the incredibly tight time frame. The disappearance of the pirate boat baffles authorities, leaving no trace of what transpired, except for the mission's success. Sanya Yezhov's decisive role in successfully executing the mission swiftly earns him widespread acclaim in the media. His girlfriend, originally preparing to marry another man, witnesses his heartfelt public apology and marriage proposal during a live news broadcast. Overcome with emotions, she hears his plea for her to wait, assuring her of his imminent return. Deeply moved by his interview and touched by his unwavering dedication and bravery, she makes a decision to call off her wedding. Instead, she chooses to patiently await Sanya's return. The end. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Turn on the notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out.